Here.
Pearson.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
We have 5 present.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the minutes of a regular meeting of the Council of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, held on Tuesday, May 6, 2025, be approved as recorded in the permanent files of the city clerk.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Is there anyone wishing to appear before the council? Then let's move on to Commissioner Eichelkraut's report.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the biweekly salary payroll of May 9th, 2025, in the amount of $467,817.66 be approved and warrants issued.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the bi-monthly expense report dated May 20th, 2025, showing expenses in the amount of $1,378,876.78 be approved and warrants issued.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that the monthly financial report of City Clerk Shelley L. Rolson for the month of April 2025 be received and placed on file.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of employment agreements for appointed NCAP personnel, which have been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of employment agreements for Frank Youngblood as facilities assistant and Shane Clark as operations manager for NCAT be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron,
These are people that we are actually replacing people that are retired, and Frank Youngblood will be moving buses to get them tested for us over in Mendota. And he works part-time, so he's just when we need him. So it works out pretty good for us.
roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Eichelkraut that a resolution authorizing the execution of a transit service agreement between the City of Ottawa and Ottawa City Recreation be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier,
We've done this every year with recreation.
roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Commissioner Eichelkraut, is there anything you would like to add?
Not at the present time, huh?
All right, on to Commissioner Gainier's report.
Moved by Commissioner Gainier that a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement for communication services between the City of Ottawa and the Village of Leland for dispatching, which has been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Gainier that a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement between the City of Ottawa and Flex Financial, a division of Stryker Sales LLC, for EMS equipment for the Ottawa Fire Department, which has been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Gainier that a resolution authorizing the execution of 2 amendments to the professional service agreements between the City of Ottawa and FGM Architects Incorporated for the 2 new fire stations, which has been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Gainier that the quote received from Sierra Motor Mall in the amount of $24,560.70 to purchase a 2023 GMC Acadia for the Ottawa Police Department be accepted, approved, and paid for from the drug fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut,
Just a replacement vehicle. We're trading in one, and this is a new to us vehicle.
got it. Okay. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Is there anything that you'd like to add, Commissioner
Just
Gainier?
wish everybody a happy Memorial Day.
Thank you. On to Commissioner Pearson's report.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Ottawa and the Illinois Department of Transportation for the routine maintenance of state roads, which have been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron? That was in stereo.
So it was in serial.
Roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson. Aye. Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution authorizing the execution of an engineering services agreement between the City of Ottawa and Renwick and Associates Incorporated for the motor fuel tax project, which has been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier? Roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson. Aye. Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
And she has one item of new business. Moved by Commissioner Pearson that a resolution authorizing the execution of an employment agreement for Amanda Lynch as part-time recreational director be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut?
So her contract expired April 30th, 2025. And so the rec department actually did give her a $5,000 raise out of their budget. Unfortunately, hopefully she does stay throughout the whole term, but it sounds like she's going to be moving in August. So we have it for a few months. She does a great job with our programs.
Thank you. Roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Commissioner Pearson, is there anything that you would like to add?
May the sun shine on our happy Memorial Day.
It's a short walk. Let it be warm.
Yeah.
Okay. On to Commissioner Barron's report.
Moved by Commissioner Barron that the low bid received from John Pohar and Sons Incorporated in the amount of $2,253,587 for the long-term control plan element 8.2 for the Canal Street Storm Sewer be approved and paid for from the CSO fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson?
This is the ongoing sewer separation project. So just another phase of it.
Roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Commissioner Barron that the quote received from Dryden Equipment Incorporated in the amount of $197,200 for the wastewater treatment plant press refurbishment be accepted, approved, and paid for from the wastewater fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier?
This is a piece of equipment at the wastewater treatment plant on the south side that needs to be refurbished. And we hope to have this project done in the fall.
Thank you. Roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Commissioner Barron, is there anything that you would like to add
Yeah.
about Memorial Day?
Not about Memorial Day. We have a street closure tomorrow morning, just briefly up on the north side where we're extending the water main and we're gonna be growing the city, so.
Fantastic. Thank you. On to my report.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that an ordinance establishing a one-time bonus for Elena Iverson, which has been on file for public inspection since May 6, 2025, be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut? Roll call?
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that an ordinance adding Chapter 22, Article 14 to the municipal code of the City of Ottawa, LaSalle County, Illinois, regarding vacant property registrations be passed and approved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier. I wanted to, in regards to this, just let everyone know that I did meet with the Illinois Realtors Association yesterday afternoon with some concerns that they had, that they just wanted to vocalize. They had concerns particularly about things like when it has to do with fees and whether or not they could be held accountable to pay those fees. My interpretation, and in talking with Christina, is that we pretty much covered that under the ownership line item where it dictates there that it's to the owner of it. However, any assessed fees, like for having to cut lawns or do anything like that, that a lien would be placed on the deed. So whoever is going to be rectifying that at the time of a closing is who would be responsible for it. One of the other issues that they had, and I would agree with them that it's always with the best intent, and none of us have a crystal ball into the future, but I was trying to dictate to them that the purpose of this is more of a preventative thing. It's for us to be able to take a little bit more action sooner rather than later. Right now, the state law that dictates what we can do is too late. It's when the properties are already too dilapidated, and at that point, we're going to be losing the property or something like that. By putting an ordinance in place, it's not so that we could someday be predators or try to demand work of someone. It's so that we can step in a little bit earlier and help try to rehabilitate the property so that it's safe for the neighbors and so forth. So other than that, is there any other questions about it? Okay, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson. Aye. Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
The next one, number 3, is lined out on the agenda. We'll skip to number 4. Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement between the City of Ottawa and the Illinois Department of Natural Resources for a FEMA flood buyout for the old YMCA be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution authorizing the execution of a participation agreement between the City of Ottawa and Illinois Valley PADS for a rural shelter grant be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron. And I will just say, I know our building inspector, Matt Stafford, wanted to make sure that all of the proper ordinances were going to be in place in the temporary renovations of the old YMCA. He and Dave Noble had a chance to meet with the architect who's in charge of getting it up to code, and all of Matt's concerns, I'm led to believe, have been answered. It'll again be sprinkled. You guys are going to be supplying some water to it again, so we should be good to go in regards to that. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. And now we have a whole litany
Yeah.
of proclamations. The first one is in regards to Poppy Days, which is coming up. Whereas America, a land of freedom, is preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers, and whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle, and whereas a nation must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war, and whereas the red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars, and whereas the American Legion and American Legion Auxiliary have pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower, therefore I, Robert Hasty, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, and on behalf of the Ottawa City Council, do hereby proclaim May 22nd to 24th of 2025 as Poppy Day in the Poppy Days in the City of Ottawa, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. Proclaimed this 20th day of May 2025.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a proclamation naming May 22nd through May 24th, 2025 as Poppy Days in the City of Ottawa be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eichelkraut, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainer.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
And I think they're here probably.
Yes.
too.
So sign and be able to give this to him. And why I'm doing that, before we get to the next proclamation, I'm going to brag. Most of you know that my daughter had won the Poppy poster contest for 8th grade for the American Legion Auxiliary. I found out Sunday that she won the state. So
nice.
her poster is now going to the national competition, which
great.
Awesome.
we think is at Springfield, right? Springfield. Yep. So that's where she'll get her next award. So proud moment for Dad. And
That's awesome.
and
Do you want to give it to him?
Yep. And the next one is the Firefighters Memorial Day Proclamation, which we had a small ceremony on Sunday for that. It was very well attended and a nice little event. The weather cooperated. It was a good time. Whereas the firefighters of America undertake one of the most hazardous occupations in the society, and whereas every year firefighters lose their lives attempting to defend the lives and property of their fellow citizens, and whereas firefighters are the rescuers of children caught in the burning buildings and of kittens stuck in trees, they perform first aid, provide transportation to the hospital, and visit schools to teach children about fire safety and prevention. And whereas in recognition of the care and concern of these men and women, every third Sunday in May will be dedicated to firefighters. Therefore, J.P. Pritzker, Governor of the State of Illinois, proclaim the third Sunday in May as Firefighter Memorial Day in our state, honoring those both living and dead for their gallant sacrifices in the preservation of human life, proclaimed this 20th day of May, 2025. Robert Hasty.
Moved by Mayor Hasty that a proclamation declaring the third Sunday in May as Firefighter Memorial Day in the city of Ottawa be adopted.
Could I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gainier. Roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. Before I move on to the next one, I'm going to point out that I misread this one on Sunday when it had Governor James Thompson.
No, that's how it should be read.
And now this one says J.P. Pritzker on it.
Oh, it should be Thompson, because Thompson's the one that did it.
So I'm not going crazy. People giving me information are going crazy.
You have 2 items of new business. Do you want to take a time out and do the?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. Moved by Mayor Hasty that a resolution authorizing the execution of a grant agreement between the City of Ottawa and the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity for a site readiness grant be received and placed on file for public inspection.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson. This is in regards to boring on the industrial lots, I think 3 through 6, I think, are the numbers, but we allocated the money for it in our budget and actually passed to spend the money back in October. So, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
And then last but not least.
Back and forth. All right. The last proclamation we have is this week is National Public Works Week. Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works, systems, and programs such as water, sewers, streets and highways, public buildings, solid waste collection, and snow removal, and whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depend on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these services, as well as their planning, design, and implementation, are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skills of public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff the City of Ottawa's public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work that they perform. And whereas 2025 marks the 64th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association with the theme, Connecting the World Through Public Works, now therefore I, Robert Hasty, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the week May 18th to the 24th, 2025, as Public Works Week in the City of Ottawa, and call upon all citizens and civic organizations to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Ottawa be affixed this 20th day of May 2025. There's a little bit more formal on the end
It
there.
is formal. All right. Moved by Mayor Hasty that a proclamation declaring May 18th through May 24th, 2025 as Public Works Week in the City of Ottawa be adopted.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pearson, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Anything else before we go into closed session?
I think that's all we have till, go into closed session.
Okay. Moved by Mayor Hasty that this council recess into closed session to discuss matters of personnel, collective bargaining, purchase or lease of real estate, sale or lease of real estate, and litigation.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Barron, roll call.
Eichelkraut.
Aye.
Gainier.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye. All right.
What are we doing with that one?
I don't know how we, like, do you guys want to go on a tour of the different departments with it, or?
Sure.